history behind the POW-MIA flag. Some of you may not. But back in 1971, Mrs. Michael Hoff, who was the wife of a military officer listed as missing in action in Vietnam, developed the idea for a national flag to remind every American of the U.S. service members whose fates were never accounted for during the war. The black and white image of a gaunt silhouette, a strand of barbed wire, and the ominous watch tie was designed by Newt Housley, a former World War II pilot. Some claim that the silhouette is a profile of Housley's son, who had contracted hepatitis while training in preparation for Vietnam. The virus ravaged his body, and while staring at his son's features, Housley saw the stark image of what he perceived as the image of American service members captive as prisoners of war under harsh conditions in Vietnam. So using a pencil, he sketched his son's profile and creating the basis for that symbol that has come to have such a powerful impact in our national conscience. By the end of the Vietnam War, there were over 2,500 service members listed as POW-MIA. In 1982, that flag, the POW-MIA flag, became the only flag other than the Stars and Stripes to fly over the White House in Washington, D.C. On August 10, 1990, Congress passed Public Law 101-355, designating the POW-MIA flag and the third Friday in September as National POW-MIA Recognition Day, which is next Friday. So next Friday is National Recognition POW-MIA Day. So I would ask that all of you, take a moment next Friday to remember those still unaccounted for and missing in action. But I just want to remind everyone that that symbol and that flag means a lot more than just those that were missing and unaccounted for during the Vietnam era. Of all wars dating back to First World War, there's still over 90,000 service members unaccounted for. And that's the reason why we're here today. And the Rolling Thunder and its president, Joe D'Entremont, some years ago went to a race, an automobile race, an auto race in Tennessee. And he was struck by an empty chair similar to that one at the stadium. And it was there in dedication to the POW-MIA cause. And that's what the Rolling Thunder's cause is to remind everyone of the POW-MIA mission that they have in the country. So what he did was he came back and took that to his folks, or to the Rolling Thunder, and as president, he thought that it would be a good idea to start a campaign to do something similar to what he saw in Tennessee, and he approached the Lowell Spinners, was the first sports facility that incorporated this idea of having this on a chair to commemorate or to recognize the National POW-MIA honor chair. And then, of course, Gillette Stadium soon followed, the Red Sox, and then eventually the Celtics, and of course the Boston Bruins. Then they took it one step further and thought that every city hall and town hall throughout the Commonwealth should have an honor chair to serve the same purpose. And the town of Dartmouth, with the and the Department of Veteran Services, we are certainly truly honored to dedicate this little alcove here with this honor chair, the POW-MIA honor chair, so that all that walk into this building will have a constant reminder that those still 90+ thousand service members that are missing will never be forgotten. So I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for your patience, for waiting. And I would now like to call upon our next speaker, who will be Representative Chris Markey. I want to thank him for coming out.
I'd first say that it's overwhelming to be here. I'm just a state representative. I look out in the crowd and I see a bunch of people who actually put their life on the line for me, my family, my children. So first, I want to say thank you. I don't think there's anything that this country could be more proud of the men and women who sacrifice their lives. The mothers who watch their children go away and not knowing if they're coming back. I'm afraid when my 16-year-old who just got her permit, she starts to leave the house, what's going to happen to her? I can't imagine when you send your son, who's 19 and 18 and 20, off to a land where the dangers are unheard of and unbelievable. And I sat and spoke with Mr. LeBlanc before coming in here, and the idea that there are heroes among us that we don't even know, that we just pass by, we just assume it's just another guy, another woman, just doing the same thing that we've always done. I think this chair symbolizes the greatness of our country, the sacrifices that we made so that we can just freely walk around, that we can freely express our opinions, and that we have a country that even when we have a change in government, it goes smoothly because of the men and women who have fought for the freedoms and the respect that we have for them. So for that I say thank you. It's often when I get up I speak, I always have some wise guy comment. The one wise guy comment I would say about this is that I hope every person, I think it's ironic that it's sitting right here outside the tax collector's office, that when people come in and they want to complain about their taxes, or they want to complain about how much money they got to pay for their water bill, or the fire fees that they have to pay, or whatever else they have to pay, they can walk by this and say, hey, if I have to pay an extra few bucks, I don't care. And understand that that's the real sacrifice that people have made. And that's the thing that we should be proud of, and hopefully where it's located, every child who comes in with their mom or dad to do something in town hall will ask their parent, what is that chair for? Why is it there? And hopefully they will carry on the same types of traditions that this Veterans Advisory Board has done in the town of Dartmouth, that they're active, that they're incredibly protective of the veterans, and I hope we can continue to do that both at the state level and at the local level. So for that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Next, I would like to ask our Select Board Member, Vice Chair Lara Stone, to come up and say a few words.
Well, similarly to Chris, I'm humbled to be here and to represent the town and to look out at all of you and your service to our country and to foreign lands. Unlike Chris, I want to write some things down because I'll probably get more emotional in speaking. But I represent the town tonight, so I represent a five-person select board and a community of 35,000 people. As Chris said, being here is a moment of humbled recognition. I'm proud to be the granddaughter of someone who served in World War II. My grandfather was a radio man and served in Pearl Harbor. So while I represent this community, I certainly represent my family and that history and all that it taught me. So as Roy was mentioning, we're a community here. I'm not sure how many in our own community, but certainly 92,000 across the country who have sacrificed in the name of liberty and freedom and remain missing. So their courage and their honor and service and sacrifice in defense of the ideals and values of our nation hallmark their place as heroes. in our society by this symbol. So most importantly, they also serve as role models to all of us, and they're individuals who've paid a daunting price in the pursuit of our values. So I think that each day we are witness to progress and ways that our nation has attained progress, new technologies that improve our lives and make inventions possible and our life more easy and enjoyable, a system of government that remains the envy of many in the world. And sometimes I think we're left to wonder about the brave men and women who have worn our nation's uniform and remain missing. How many other successes and contributions would have come from their sacrifices? How much better could this world have been, and how much more could we have invented, or how much more progress could we have achieved with their contributions were they here? So memorials like this serve as reminders of the selfless acts of heroism of soldiers who have served our nation. And each of us bears witness to the unveiling of this today, and we share in the responsibility of ensuring that we carry forth in pursuit of these ideals everything that our nation represents, the values of those soldiers who have long defended. We've lost many in defense of these values, and others remain missing. Today, we choose to offer this in sacrifice for that pursuit. Thank you so much for having me represent our town.
Thank you. Now, I also wanted to recognize who would have been our featured speaker tonight, Navy Captain retired Frederick Purrington. Captain Purrington himself was a POW in North Vietnam when he was captured after his A-4C aircraft went down October 20th, 1966. He was held prisoner in a place known as Hanoi Hilton until his release February 18, 1973. Captain Purrington and his wife Maggie are longtime residents of Dartmouth. Unfortunately, Captain Purrington couldn't stay and share a few words with us, but I just wanted to recognize him for his bravery during his 6 years of captivity and what he endured for our country. I also want to thank the Rolling Thunder for all that they do for the cause of the POW-MIA, and certainly want to thank my Veterans Advisory Board members that are here. I want to thank the VFW for you folks coming out, the Ladies Auxiliary, you know, all of you that have come out, American Legion, Steve, Mr. Horan. I know it's a short group, small group, but certainly thank you all for coming out. Again, I apologize for the delay, but it's a worthy cause. Make sure you let everybody know that it is here, and that it's here to symbolize that even though they're gone, there is still a place for them here. You know, that chair will be perpetually left empty for them. Thank you, and God bless.